Since February 28, the United States and Israel have been at war with Iran. More than 1,900 Iranians have been killed. Iran has launched 83 waves of missile and drone strikes in retaliation. But the most powerful weapon in this conflict isn't a missile, it's a narrow stretch of water between Iran and Oman. The Strait of Hormuz looks like nothing, just water, but this tiny passage normally controls nearly 20% of the world's oil, and one country decides who passes and who doesn't. To understand the danger, look at the map. It's a geographic trap. More importantly, how did Iran turn this strait into a weapon? To understand this, you have to accept a bigger truth. Global trade isn't free, it's fragile. What makes this place so powerful? One word: dependency. The Persian Gulf holds the largest share of the world's proven oil reserves. In that region, you find Saudi Arabia, Iraq, the UAE, Kuwait, but geographically, they are trapped. There's only one exit to the global market: the Strait of Hormuz. At its narrowest point, ships are forced into shipping lanes just a few kilometers wide. Visualize that. Thousands of vessels carrying the literal fuel of civilization, all squeezed into one tight bottleneck. Why don't countries just bypass it? They can't. Pipelines exist, but they lack the capacity to replace what flows through the streets. It's a geographic reality where one narrow passage became unavoidable. And once something is unavoidable, control becomes power. Who holds that power? Iran. And not by accident. Iran doesn't just sit near the streets, it surrounds it. Its coastline and islands overlook the shipping lanes. Ships don't pass by Iran, they pass under Iranian sightlines. How does that translate into real control? Proximity. Iran can monitor and strike ships directly from land. Missiles, drones, fast patrol boats. It doesn't need a massive navy. In a narrow space, even small disruptions trigger massive consequences, which leads to the real question: how do you paralyze global trade without firing a single shot? You create risk. The real weapon here isn't explosives, it's fear. Specifically, it's insurance. Shipping companies don't sail blind. They depend on insurers to cover losses. Before the war risk insurance cost less than 1% of a vessel's value. Today, that figure surged to between 3.5 to 10% for a single transit. On a $200 million LNG carrier, that's up to $20 million per crossing. But here's what actually happened. Insurers didn't cancel coverage. Ship owners stopped sailing because the risk became unacceptable. The result? Commercial shipping through the strait has collapsed by up to 95%. Major shippers like Maersk, CM, ACGM have rerouted vessels around the Cape of Good Hope, adding up to 20 days to delivery times. No blockade, no official closure, just enough risk to make the route economically impossible. How has Iran taken this further? Iranian state media announced that the strait is now closed to vessels traveling to and from countries it considers supportive of the United States and Israel. Some ships pass, others are delayed, harassed, or quietly blocked. The strait isn't just a choke point anymore, it's a valve. A system where to access the global economy is conditional. On March 26, Israel killed the man who built this system. Admiral Alireza Tangsiri was killed in an airstrike. For years, he had warned that Iran would shut down the waterway if pressured. Under his command, threat became reality. His death is a significant blow, but the mechanism he built remains. What does this really mean? The Strait of Hormuz is powerful because the world made it unavoidable. Iran weaponized it not by taking total control, but by creating just enough uncertainty. But the deeper truth is this: what's happening here isn't really about Iran, it's about how the modern world is built. Everything depends on a few narrow pathways, and when those pathways can be controlled, globalization stops being guaranteed. It becomes something you have to negotiate for.